Welcome to another deep dive here on the MemcycoFM show.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging into a challenge that, frankly, keeps far too many security leaders up at night.
Oh, yeah.
Retail account takeover, or ATO, fraud. It's a persistent, frustrating problem, definitely.
It really is. But, I think it's one we believe has a truly clear path to prevention.
That's the hopeful angle we need.
Absolutely. Our mission today, really unpack this alarming rise in retail ATOs.
Actually, right into it.
Yeah, reveal the consistent, recurring patterns behind these relentless attacks.
Okay.
And then, most importantly, explore proactive, solutions-focused strategies, things that can fundamentally alter the trajectory of these incidents.
Right, not just reacting.
Exactly. We'll look at real-world examples, see how adding a preemptive layer of defense can shift the landscape, from reactive damage control to proactive prevention before any losses even hit the books.
Okay, so let's unpack this from, say, a CISO's perspective. Why are retailers, these massive, trusted brands, millions of customers, why are they such prime targets for ATOs? You'd think their security would be, well, top tier.
Yeah, you think so. It often comes down to the nature of the assets. For attackers, things like loyalty balances, stored credit cards, digital wallets.
Stuff linked to the account.
Exactly. They're not just data points. They're essentially liquid assets.
Ah, okay. Little good.
Ripe for immediate monetization,
Cool.
dark web, quick purchases, you name it. And often, these digital assets, while valuable to the customer and the attacker, they're guarded by controls that aren't quite as robust, or maybe not as layered as those protecting, say, your traditional bank account.
Right.
So that makes them comparatively easier targets, like finding a vault that's just not quite as reinforced,
That distinction makes a lot of sense. So it's not just about getting in, it's about getting something immediately valuable. And the scale of this problem, it's just staggering, isn't it? We're not talking about a slow creep here.
We are certainly not. The numbers are quite stark. Reported retail ATO cases in the UK alone, they rose a staggering 96% year over year in 2023.
Wow. 96%.
Yeah, this isn't just an uptick, it's a massive surge. And it underlines a fundamental vulnerability that attackers are clearly exploiting at scale.
96%. That's almost doubling in a single year. That's a huge leap for any security team to have to contend with. So what are the primary avenues attackers are using? How are they getting into these accounts? Are we still talking about like simple password guessing?
Oh, not at all. It's far more sophisticated now. It really relies on three primary attack vectors that exploit common blind spots in, well, traditional defenses.
Okay, what are they?
First, you've got credential reuse at scale. Big one.
Right, the password reuse problem.
Exactly. Attackers take credentials from totally unrelated breaches, data dumps from other websites, and they just try them across millions of retail sites using bots. The problem isn't just that people reuse passwords, though that's part of it. It's how incredibly inefficient current defenses often are at detecting the automation behind this.
Ah, they don't see the bot army?
Precisely. They often treat millions of replayed credentials as just individual, isolated login attempts, so the attackers slip right through.
So if I reused my password from, I don't know, some forum that got breached 5 years ago, suddenly my favorite retail account is wide open. And the system isn't seeing the bigger picture, the coordinated attack.
That's exactly it. The second meteor pattern is phishing-driven credential harvesting.
Classic phishing. Still works.
Still works incredibly well. We see rampant use of really sophisticated phishing infrastructure. They create cloned portals that look exactly like the real thing, pixel perfect sometimes.
Scary.
And without real-time domain spoofing detection, customers are easily tricked. They just hand over their login details on a fake site.
Which then gets replayed by the attacker on the actual site. Okay. And the third pattern,
Yeah.
You mentioned this is maybe the most compelling for the attackers.
Yes, that stored value is the ultimate prize.
Right, the liquid assets.
Indeed. Loyalty balances, gift cards, linked payment instruments. They're systematically drained because they can be monetized instantly, no waiting.
So what's the core issue here? Why do these succeed so often?
What was fascinating, and kind of the crux of it, is that retail account takeovers succeed primarily because login flows lack real-time visibility. Fraud gets detected after the fact.
After the damage is done?
After customers and retailers have already absorbed the loss. It's a post-compromise detection world we live in for this stuff, and that fundamentally is the core problem we really need to solve.
That's the critical disconnect, isn't it? It's like discovering the barn door was open after all the horses have bolted. Really makes you question the effectiveness of a purely reactive security posture.
Completely.
So let's bring this to life. We've got some real-world examples, 5 major breaches that illustrate exactly how a proactive, sort of in-session defense could have made all the difference, could have changed the outcome entirely.
Let's do it. These really highlight the patterns.
Okay, let's start with the Tesco Club Card loyalty breach from 2020. What happened there, and what was the missed opportunity for prevention?
Right, Tesco. Back in 2020, around 600,000 club card accounts were compromised. It was a classic case of credential stuffing.
Just like you described, reused passwords.
Exactly. Attackers simply reused credentials from third-party breaches, fired them at Tesco's login page. Tesco had to block access for everyone affected, reissue vouchers. It was a massive undertaking. Huge friction for their loyal customers.
And the outcome?
Exposed loyalty balances, obviously, direct reimbursement costs for Tesco, and, significant reputational damage. People weren't happy.
Understandable. So a large-scale automated attack hitting what was essentially a soft target, the loyalty points. How would a proactive in-session defense have stopped that?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. Browser-level credential stuffing detection would have been paramount here.
Browser level. So
Yeah.
on the user's machine.
Sort of, yes. It detects the malicious automation before the login attempt even properly hits Tesco's core systems. So it prevents compromise right from the very first malicious attempt.
Stops at the source.
Right. You could also inject decoy credentials. Basically, feed the attackers fake data, which neutralizes any replayed, stolen information, makes it useless.
Very clever. Poisoning the well. Okay, that's a strong preventative measure. Let's move on to Starbucks mobile app fraud in 2015. I remember the headlines on this one. It seemed particularly, nasty.
It was nasty. Attackers didn't just drain gift card balances. They actually triggered auto reloads, pulling funds directly from people's linked payment instruments, bank accounts, credit cards.
Ouch. People saw money disappearing from their bank accounts through the app?
Literally. This was another credential reuse attack. Stolen username-password combinations tested against the Starbucks mobile app login.
And the result?
Unauthorized customer charges, naturally. Starbucks had to step up, reimburse the losses, and absorb a pretty significant reputational hit. Trust took a knock.
So the real value of loyalty points or stored gift cards, it's their immediate, maybe less traceable liquidity, making them a prime target over, say, trying a direct bank transfer, right?
That's exactly right. It's faster, often flies under traditional fraud radar for longer.
How would a proactive defense have intervened here then?
Well, in this scenario, proactive defenses would focus on blocking logins from high-risk devices. Or maybe devices previously seen in breaches right at the point of entry.
Device reputation.
Exactly. And imagine real-time red alerts popping up for customers if they accidentally landed on a spoofed Starbucks login portal. A warning before they type anything.
That would be powerful.
Hugely. And crucially, again, injecting decoy data. Ensure any stolen credentials would fail immediately when replayed. That protects the actual customer accounts and their linked payment methods.
Okay, shifting from loyalty points to broader personal data. The Macy's customer portal breach from 2019 sounds like a PII nightmare. What was the attack path there?
It absolutely was a PII issue. Macy's disclosed a breach where attackers got access to card details, addresses, other personal info.
How'd they get in?
This was a clear case of that sophisticated phishing infrastructure we mentioned, funneling customers to cloned login pages that looked just like Macy's.
Tricking the users.
Yep. Once those credentials were harvested, they were then replayed against Macy's genuine portal. That gave the attackers the keys to the kingdom-sensitive PII, payment data.
And the consequences.
Severe. Payment card theft, PII theft, the inevitable regulatory scrutiny, multiple lawsuits, the usual fallout, unfortunately.
So this raises an important question. How would in-session defenses apply to something as cunning as a phishing campaign? One that's actively funneling users to a fake site. That seems hard to stop.
You'd think so, but it can be done very effectively. The key here is real-time detection of those spoofed domains and cloned web portals.
Seeing the fakes as they appear.
Right. This stops customers from ever handing over their details in the first place, ideally. You could also automatically inject decoy credentials into those fake login forms.
Poisoning the well again.
Exactly. So even if data was harvested, it's useless to the attacker. Plus, forensic telemetry becomes vital. It provides a precise map. Which customers were targeted through which devices. That enables a really targeted response and rapid takedowns of the malicious sites.
That definitely shifts the battleground.
Okay.
Next up, Dunkin' Donuts Perks Rewards ATOs from 2018-2019. Loyalty programs again. Seems like an endless wellspring of targets for these attackers.
They really are, because those rewards points are just so easily monetized on the dark web.
Yeah.
People sell them.
Right.
So Dunkin's loyalty program accounts were repeatedly hijacked. Stolen rewards quickly resold. This was another instance of those automated credential stuffing campaigns, launched at scale against the Perks Rewards logins.
And the impact for Dunkin'.
Rewards drained, obviously. Customer dissatisfaction escalated significantly. And Dunkin' faced multiple lawsuits challenging, the adequacy of their security defenses.
What could have shifted the tide here? Could they have prevented those rewards from being drained and maybe headed off the lawsuits?
Definitely. High-fidelity detection of credential stuffing attempts right at the browser layer would have stopped these campaigns cold.
Before they hit the servers.
Before they hit, imagine auto-lockout mechanisms, specifically for attackers attempting to replay stolen credentials. Shut them down immediately. And real-time victim visibility.
Knowing who was hit when?
Precisely. That would have allowed Dunkin' to prioritize account recovery, limit the exposure for affected customers much faster, prevent further losses, and start rebuilding trust.
Okay, makes sense. Finally, the Neiman Marcus breach in 2021. Millions of accounts compromised. Names, passwords, stored payment data exposed. That's a massive hit for a luxury brand.
It was a very significant incident, yes,
Uh-huh.
affecting 4.6 million accounts. And this one was a bit more complex, too. It was a multi-pronged attack.
How so?
A combination of phishing-driven credential harvesting and brute force attacks against the login. Attackers were coming at them from multiple angles.
So not just one technique.
No. And the result? Exposed gift card balances, customer PII, class action suits, huge remediation costs, and of course, erosion of their brand reputation, especially damaging for a high-end retailer.
So in a complex scenario like this, with multiple attack vectors hitting them simultaneously, how could a preemptive defense have made a real difference?
Well, browser-level detection, again, is key. But this time, detecting both brute force attempts and suspicious login activity from the phishing campaigns. It has to see both patterns.
Okay.
Then, deploy decoy credentials and even fake payment data to poison any harvested information, making it totally unusable to the attackers.
Render the stolen data worthless.
Exactly. And crucially, automated takedown initiation for any spoofed Neiman Marcus portals would have quickly neutralized the phishing infrastructure that was feeding these attacks. You cut off the supply of stolen credentials at the source.
Okay, that's a really powerful set of examples. And what consistently stands out to me across all five is that the attack patterns were remarkably similar. Credential stuffing, phishing.
Very consistent.
And the impact was always felt after the breach had already happened, which really brings us to the critical shift that retailers and the CISOs leading them need to make, doesn't it?
Exactly. Retailers just cannot afford to rely solely on post-compromise detection anymore.
It's too late by then.
It's too late. That's a reactive stance, and it consistently leaves customers and brands exposed. What's needed are robust in-session controls. Controls that operate right at the customer login.
During the login process itself?
Yes, providing real-time visibility and intervention capabilities at the very point of attack. This isn't just about adding another tool, it's a fundamental shift in thinking. Moving beyond just traditional perimeter defense or endpoint protection to focus on that dynamic in-session interaction itself. That's the critical blind spot many organizations still have.
So it's about being right there on the front lines, in the moment, not just cleaning up after the battle's over.
Precisely.
This is where your 5 pillars of defense come into play, right? How do these proactive in-session controls actually work to address those blind spots we keep talking about?
Right, the 5 pillars. They provide a comprehensive preemptive defense. Think of it like a dynamic shield operating in real time. The first pillar is detect.
Okay, detect. What does that entail?
This involves identifying credential stuffing attempts as they happen, spotting spoofed domains and cloned portals the moment they appear online, and pinpointing any anomalous device activity during login. All in real time. It's about spotting those warning signs instantly, often before they'd even be logged by traditional security systems.
Seeing the danger early. And once detected, how do these controls then move from just seeing an attack to actually protecting the customer?
Protect. This is where the active defense kicks in. It deploys those decoy credentials and data we talked about.
The fake stuff.
The fake stuff makes any harvested information useless to the attacker, essentially poisoning their data well. It also involves blocking untrusted or high-risk devices from logging in and providing clear authenticity markers like visual cues that help customers recognize genuine sites so they don't fall for a fake.
So it's turning the attacker's own harvested data against them And helping the user spot fakes. That's incredibly clever. What about disrupt? How does that pillar function? Sounds active.
It is active.
Hmm.
Disrupt uses things like deception campaigns and automated takedowns to neutralize phishing infrastructure as it emerges.
Taking down the fake sites.
Exactly, preventing harvested data from ever being monetized. It's about taking the fight directly to the attacker's tools and infrastructure, often before they can even launch their full assault or reap the rewards.
Proactive takedowns. Okay. And then when something inevitably does slip through or you need to understand what happened, how do these controls help reveal the extent of the damage? Give security teams those crucial insights.
Right, reveal. This pillar delivers deep forensic visibility. You get insights into victim devices, compromised sessions, attacker behavior patterns,
The nitty-gritty details.
the nitty-gritty. This enables incident response at the individual customer level, allowing security teams to understand exactly who was targeted and how, so they can respond much more effectively and quickly, really minimizing the blast radius.
Okay, that makes sense for response. And the final pillar, the one that ties it all together, is preempt. How does that work? How do you get ahead of the curve?
Preempt is really about looking forward. It's about establishing behavioral and device baselines for your genuine customers. What does normal look like?
Understanding the good guys.
Exactly. This allows the system to detect early reconnaissance efforts, attackers probing your site, maybe testing credentials slowly, and it helps predict potential account takeover attempts before a fraudulent login even succeeds. It's about stopping the attack before it even properly gets off the ground, by identifying those early tells, those signals of an impending attack.
Wow. Detect, protect, disrupt, reveal, and preempt. That sounds comprehensive. So, what does this all mean for the security and fraud teams listening to us, especially those CISOs who are constantly battling these kinds of threats?
Well, fundamentally, it means these controls give them the power, really unprecedented power, to act before customer accounts are monetized or that crucial trust is lost. It fundamentally shifts the security posture from being reactive, always playing catch-up, to being truly proactive. It gives teams a decisive advantage in a landscape currently dominated by attackers exploiting these legacy blind spots around the login.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. Thank you. It's just so clear that the patterns of attack are consistent, aren't they? Attackers strike at the customer login, they exploit credential reuse, cloned portals, weak anomaly detection.
The same playbook, over and over.
And once they're inside, the path to monetization, draining stored cards, selling loyalty balances, it's immediate. And customer trust, once that's lost, it's just incredibly hard to rebuild.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here, or maybe frustrating, is that traditional controls, while valuable for certain things, are inherently reactive in this context. They respond after a compromise.
Right.
The crucial gap is closed by having that in-session visibility and the ability to intervene in real time, detecting and disrupting ATO fraud right at the point of entry before the losses actually materialize. That's the key.
So, for the security leaders out there listening, evaluating their exposure, maybe wrestling with this very problem, here's a provocative question for you to mull over. Would your current defenses stop these same 5 attacks we discussed today? The Tesco, Starbucks, Macy's, Dunkin', Neiman Marcus scenarios.
It's a tough question, but an important one. If the honest answer to that is no, or even maybe not, then it's definitely time to seriously consider adding a preemptive layer of defense.
And if you're ready to explore what that looks like in practice, we encourage you to check out how a proactive solution can protect your customers, your brand, and frankly, your bottom line.
You can learn more and see it in action.
Yeah, definitely take a look. Booking a demo is probably the best way to see how it could fit into your specific environment. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.